Hello, and how are you? I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Today in the cryptocurrency news, we're going to talk about crypto and under $200 in capital gains. The United States lawmakers are looking at making that tax-free for small payments. $200 million in crypto insurance by one of the larger exchanges, and in 2020 so far, we've seen double-digit gains throughout the crypto industry, and that's the industry as a whole, not just a specific cryptocurrency. So let's get into it. Today, I'm not a financial advisor. In fact, that's not just today, but period. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion. I'm not smarter than you. You are smarter than you realize. Do not trust what I say. Do your own research. So, U.S. lawmakers try again on tax relief for small crypto payments. On Thursday, Representative Susan DelBlanc, Democrat from Washington, David Schweikert, Republican from Arizona, Darren Soto, Democrat from Florida, Tom Emmer, Republican from Minnesota, introduced the Virtual Currency Act Tax Fairness Act of 2020, an amendment to the IRS code that would exempt realized gains under $200, otherwise known as a de minimis threshold. From a practical standpoint, the bill could simplify the tax burdens of day-to-day crypto users who must report even marginal capital gains under current federal law. This is based on a 2014 Internal Revenue Service guidance that treats Bitcoin and other convertible virtual currencies as taxable commodities. This legislation does not alter the bureaucratic determination, but it would provide relief for low-level use cases like transactions while enforcing it against more substantial users like investors. So this could be really big news for the cryptocurrency industry, because who wants to go to Starbucks, whip out your cryptocurrency card, and buy a coffee and have to pay capital gains tax in addition to the sales tax that you just paid for your Starbucks coffee? Now, I bring up Starbucks in particular because Starbucks has a joint venture with Microsoft and the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, the Intercontinental Exchange. Those three companies, all of them are multi-billion-dollar corporations, are building an app that you can use to trade or use cryptocurrency to buy things with. So imagine going to Microsoft and buying the most recent version of Microsoft Windows with Bitcoin. Well, Microsoft is actually involved in working on that. Same thing with buying your coffee with Bitcoin or buying all kinds of other stuff with Bitcoin. Starbucks, Microsoft, and the Intercontinental Exchange, the owners of the New York Stock Exchange, all three corporations are working on bringing an application to you so that you can use cryptocurrency to purchase stuff with. And this law that they're talking about with U.S. lawmakers will only help that app go mainstream when you don't have to worry about income tax or capital gains tax when you're buying your coffee. Very interesting. Anchorage is launching crypto brokerage to dig into crypto trading. So, who is Anchorage? Anchorage is a San Francisco-based company that has been providing its institutional custody services since 2017. The company allows investors to safely hold and use digital assets. In June of 2019, Anchorage became a founding member of the Libra Association, an independent not-for-profit group responsible for the operation and governance of the Libra network. Moreover, Anchorage has also joined the Blockchain Association and Crypto Rating Council that consists of the leading crypto businesses committed to practical compliance with U.S. securities law. In August 2019, Anchorage added support for Stellar and Tezos. With the latest announcement, Anchorage has all the chances to compete with Coinbase that provides integrated custody and institutional brokerage through its agency-only OTC desk. Besides, Anchorage is a strong rival for BitGo, Fidelity, and Bakkt. So it looks like we have another company that's about to get into the cryptocurrency exchange business and mix things up with the big boys. Bithumb cryptocurrency exchange goes to court over a $69 million tax bill. Imagine having a $69 million tax bill and having to pay that. According to a report published by the Korea Times on Jan 16, Bithumb filed a complaint with the NTS, suggesting that the imposed tax bill is groundless given the cryptocurrency is not legally recognized currency. The South Korean Tax Tribunal now has to decide whether to grant or dismiss the exchange's motion within 90 days. NTS imposed a retention tax, an income tax paid to government by the payer of income instead of its recipient, which is often withheld or deducted from income in most jurisdictions, according to the Korean Times. As a consequence, Bithumb is expected to pay the bill before giving the remaining income to its customers. An exchange official commented, "We paid the full amount and have since been preparing for arguments. We believe we will be given a chance to clarify our stance in court." So it's very interesting that in Korea, instead of the consumer having to pay the capital gains tax, they're expecting the cryptocurrency exchange to pay the capital gains tax on behalf of the consumer. So I thought that was quite interesting. In other news, Bitwise withdraws its SEC application to a crypto ETF. So a lot of people, in fact, when I first got into cryptocurrencies, one of the things that got me interested in it or very excited about its future prospects, and this was back in August of 2018, was the prospect of an exchange-traded fund, an ETF, being soon available. It hasn't happened since, but since that time, I've changed my mind on it. At that back in August, August of 2018, I thought that an ETF was a big deal and was really, really important. But with the introduction of the backed exchange and several other things that have happened throughout 2019, I think it's less and less important. But I do find it interesting that Bitwise has withdrawn their application and that they're not going to pursue it at this time. That almost sounds to me like they got news or wind from the SEC that the application wasn't going to get approved anyway, and so they chose to withdraw it. But that's speculation on my part. I don't really know, but I do think it's very interesting that they've withdrawn the application. I think the SEC really should allow, we have the backed exchange, we have institutions getting involved, we have all kinds of different companies such as Anchorage that we talked about that does institutional custody of cryptocurrencies. There's lots of other derivative products like backed, just introduced cryptocurrency options. And so don't understand what the logic is, or actually I've heard the arguments, but they don't make sense to me as far as why they wouldn't allow a ETF, an exchange traded fund, for cryptocurrencies. So, Gemini's $200 million crypto insurance indicates rapidly rising institutional demand. The Gemini Crypto Asset Exchange has just announced an increase to its custody platform insurance coverage. A $200 million, the Winklevoss-led trading venue now boasts the largest cold storage insurance limit of any crypto custodian on the planet. The decision to increase its coverage shows Gemini Custody is clearly expecting demand for its services to also increase. Judging by the size of the new coverage and the platform's reservation for accredited investors, the company anticipates serving some large holders in the near future. So this is very bullish. They're not going to spend the money to increase what they're paying to cover $200 million in losses unless they're really expecting to see people depositing $200 million and possibly more than $200 million into their custody service, into their crypto custodian services. And so Gemini sounds like they want to be one of the world's largest cryptocurrency custody and asset holders. They do have some stiff competition from the Bakkt exchange, which is run by the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, Starbucks, and Microsoft. Also, Coinbase is a very large in the institutional custody business, and there's quite a number of other companies that are very big in institutional custody of cryptocurrencies for institutions. And so the institutional demand for cryptocurrency has been on the rise and continues to be on the rise. Over 359 companies are building the future on Ethereum. However, a recent list of external companies has shed light on the fact that some of the world's most respected companies, as many as 359 of them, I don't know why that was a tongue twister, are hard at work building on top of the Ethereum protocol. So in other words, there's over 359 companies that are using the Ethereum smart contract language, because it's basically a computer language and you can write a smart contract to do different things. They're using that language to build different applications on top of the Ethereum network, using Ethereum for each of its blockchain transactions and using for Ethereum for other things depending on what that cryptocurrency is all about. And so that's quite interesting, because a lot of people have been saying, hey, the only stuff getting built on Ethereum is stuff that's being built by the Ethereum Foundation. But that's just not true, because among the list are heavy hitters and well-known brands like Nike's, Barclays, TD Ameritrade, FedEx, Microsoft, Intel, Ubisoft, Amazon, American Express, Samsung, McDonald's, and many, many more. 359 all told. You may have heard a crazy claim that no one really builds on Ethereum and that all products being built on Ethereum are paid for by the Ethereum Foundation or CoinSensus. Here are 359 reasons why that is wrong. So, a lot of corporations are building on Ethereum, and as those applications become public, that will also drive the price of Ethereum up. And depending on what they're building, they may be using another cryptocurrency token such as ZEC or Link or there's about 2,000 different cryptocurrencies that use the Ethereum blockchain. And so I don't know why my mind is suddenly going blank, but there's a whole bunch of different cryptocurrencies that run on Ethereum. And any one of those cryptocurrencies could be used in one of these 359 different projects that are getting built by the likes of Nike and Barclays and TD Ameritrade. In fact, some of these companies could be building their own cryptocurrency, like there may be a Nike cryptocurrency that comes out in the near futures, or Barclays as a bank may come out with their own banking cryptocurrency that they're building on the Ethereum network. But different companies can be building different kinds of applications, and it's also very interesting that Amazon is building an application on the using Ethereum smart contracts. So I think in the next year to several years, we're going to see a lot of these different applications getting released into the public. And as a result, it makes the future and the outlook for Ethereum very, very bright. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but it does have some good implications for the future of Ethereum, with such a large number of companies and heavy-hitting companies actually building on the Ethereum blockchain. Well, is there a new Bitcoin boom happening? Grayscale reports record cryptocurrency investments for 2019. So, digital currency manager Grayscale took in over $607 million in investments in 2019. An amount that outstripped its collective inflows of the previous 5 years. The announcement on Tuesday is noteworthy, given that cryptocurrency prices slumped for much of 2019 and remained far off their highs in late 2017 when Bitcoin touched $20,000. It's now around $9,000. According to Grayscale's managing director, Michael, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Sonnenschein, the firm's banner year reflects a growing belief on the part of hedge funds and other institutional investors that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are here to stay. Now, Grayscale has a Bitcoin traded fund that you can actually buy if you have a TD Ameritrade or TradeStation or E-Trade account. You can go online and you can actually purchase a ticker symbol called GBTC. GBTC stands for Grayscale Bitcoin. And that is typically around the $12 price. So instead of it being at the actual price of Bitcoin of $9,000, you're actually purchasing a fraction of a Bitcoin by purchasing that particular ticker symbol. And that fund is mostly purchased, about 80% of the purchasers or holders, people who owned that particular ticker symbol, most of them are institutions. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was somewhere around 85% of the people that are purchasing the Grayscale funds are institutions. And so the majority of the $607 million of investments during 2019 is institutional money. And given that Grayscale's been around for 5 years, and given the fact that 2019 they saw more money coming in than they did in the previous 4 years or all 5 years of their existence, is significant. That's significant in terms of institutions are definitely moving and getting involved in cryptocurrencies, and we're going to see more and more of that. That's why the Intercontinental Exchange built the Bakkt exchange, because they own the New York Stock Exchange. They saw how companies like Binance and exchanges like Coinbase and Gemini, Binance is only about 3-ish years old, and yet they've collected over $1 billion in fees. Now that's an exchange, a cryptocurrency exchange. You got to realize that's a company coming out of nowhere that's stepping all over the toes of the New York Stock Exchange, collecting fees that they think they should be collecting. That's why they created the Bakkt exchange. That's why we're going to see cryptocurrencies start rolling out with all of these different stock brokerage firms such as TD Ameritrade and TradeStation and E-Trade, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those things were announced back in 2019 and 2018, and as the different stock brokerage companies begin rolling out those types of services where the average investor can actually purchase Bitcoin or Ethereum or any one of the other thousands of cryptocurrencies through their stock brokerage accounts, we're going to see a massive, I believe, this is my opinion, I believe we'll see a massive bull run with cryptocurrency. So this was an informal, non-scientific survey done, and 75% of the people surveyed think Bitcoin will double in price in 2020, according to a crypto Twitter survey. So, crypto Twitter is the ultimate authority when it comes to surveys. I'm being facetious. Most traders believe the Bitcoin rally is only getting started. Survey reveals the Bitcoin rally is making many crypto investors euphoric. Economists ran a poll to check on the pulse of the BTC market. An ultra bullish atmosphere may be the sign that a trend reversal is incoming. Over the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin has been slaying the bears and disbelievers. On Tuesday, Bitcoin printed a fresh 2020 high of $8,903. The cryptocurrency's token renewed bullish vigor is driving many retail investors into euphoria. Now, the number is actually higher than that as of now. It has broken the $9,000 barrier. Today, this morning, early in the morning, Bitcoin did break above the $9,000 price range. BTC is going above 14,000 and then above 20,000. This could take days, weeks, months, but it's going to happen eventually in that order. Well, it has to happen in that order because 14,000 is below 20,000. So kind of silly thing to say. So a lot of people are getting very, very bullish, getting quite excited. I think we're on the verge of seeing a massive bull run, but it also is appropriate in its timing because of the upcoming Bitcoin halvening. And then finally, cryptocurrency price rallies towards double-digit gains in 2020. So this is also quite phenomenal. The cryptocurrency market is experiencing a steep rally across the board, with many convinced that this may be the end of a 2-year bear market. The cryptocurrency market has started 2020 with a huge bang, expanding by an impressive 23% within the first 2 weeks of the year. The overall market capitalization of the cryptocurrency market, a measure of the size of the market, has grown from 192 billion at the start of the year to well over 240 billion by the middle of January. Leading the pack is Bitcoin, which constitutes more than 65% of the overall cryptocurrency market, going from just under 7,200 the end of 2019 to a high of 8,800. Bitcoin recorded double-digit gains within 2 weeks. January 14 saw a spike of more than 11% in Bitcoin's price, fueling speculation that the 2-year-long cryptocurrency recession could finally be over. And so imagine that, an 11% gain in just the first 2 weeks of 2020. I don't know of any other asset that you could invest in that has seen an 11% gain in the first 2 weeks of 2020. If you know of one, please let me know. I would be interested in hearing about it. So, in conclusion, how can I be of service to you? Do you have any questions? Did I raise anything? Did I not go in depth on anything? Do you have any questions just in general about cryptocurrency? Let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this on something other than YouTube or Library, then click the links to actually view it on YouTube or view it on Library. And in the comments section below, you can make comments, you can ask questions, you can dive into other subjects. Whatever you'd like to have, talk about, I would be interested in hearing from you, would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I hope that you'll like, subscribe, and hodl, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.